If you'd like to learn about a very innovative rehabilitation concept called sensory substitution effect, and how it could potentially benefit your stroke survivor in their home rehabilitation, then this video is definitely going to describe that information for you. Hi there, I'm Dr. Kenneth Monaghan. I'm a university lecturer, I'm a neuroplasticity expert, and I'm the author of Lights, Mirrors, Action, a guide for transforming the lives of caregivers and stroke survivors. I'm hugely passionate about trying to assist caregivers and stroke survivors to adapt their homes as an ideal place to carry out their physical rehabilitation. So, one of the people that I absolutely love reading is a man called Norman Doidge. And Norman has written two fantastic books, one of which is called How the Brain Changes Itself. And in one of the early chapters, Norman describes a situation where apparently years ago, women who were pregnant and who needed antibiotics afterwards, if they were given the antibiotic gentamicin, but they were kept on it for too long, it resulted in them destroying their vestibular apparatus. So this is something that's inside your inner ears, and it helps us to balance. It helps us to know where we are in space. So if this is destroyed, then you are going to find it impossible to balance. So essentially, your life is going to be very much destroyed. And these women were called wobblers, was the term for them. And as I've said, their lives were destroyed. But a researcher in America, Paul Bacurita, a number of years ago, he had this idea that if that information that goes from the vestibular apparatus wasn't working correctly, would it be possible to use some of the information from our senses and tell the brain what was going on? So what he developed was he created like a piece of chewing gum or a piece of plastic that would fit on top of a person's tongue, and he had little sensors attached to the plastic that were connected with wires to like a Bob the Builder helmet that the patient would wear. And when the head went forward and backwards, a certain set of sensors were activated. When the head turned side to side, a certain set of sensors were activated. And when the head turned side to side and front and back, the sensor was activated in a certain way. And because the tongue is so sensitive, it was able to detect the different patterns, and it was able to tell when the person was doing these movements. And essentially, after a very, very short time, the brain figured out how to use this different information to substitute for the information that wasn't working from the vestibular apparatus. And over the course of a year, so almost immediately there was improvements in these women, which was phenomenal. And over the course of a year, complete recovery was achieved. And this was astounding. And the term that was given to this was sensory substitution effect. So if the normal signals don't work, we substitute sensory information. So this could be sound, it could be taste, it could be smell, it could be touch, it could be sight. And our research laboratory, our Neuroplasticity Research Group, we have over the last few years been working on this area of sensory substitution, and we've discovered that tactile information, so if we put a sensor in somebody's hand and there's vibration in it, that information plus information from sound seem to be the two best senses that patients respond to. And we've been using this to develop some new innovative medical devices that are showing promise in our labs. Now, in Lights, Mirrors, Actions in chapter 17, I describe a very simple technique that can be used where we use a weighing scales, or a digital weighing scale is probably even better, to demonstrate to patients, how much weight they're putting on their legs and to get them sensing in a different way. After you've had a stroke, the information that comes from the limbs can sometimes be a little bit distorted. So if we can substitute that with other types of information, then in a very cost-effective way, patients can actually benefit from this therapy in their own homes, and they can benefit and use it as part of their treatment programs on a daily basis. So the message coming through here is that there's a new innovative therapy that was first mentioned in Norman Doidge's book, The Brain That Changes Itself, called Sensory Substitution Effect. And this therapy has huge potential for helping stroke patients in their recovery. And a very simple way to use this can be through the use of a weighing scales or digit weighing scales, and it can be used in a person's own home. And this is described in chapter 17 of Lights, Mirrors, Action, and the technique is shown as well. So if you want to find more information about sensory substitution, some more workbooks, some more information on YouTube videos, then go to my website, www.lightscamerasaction.com, where you'll find some extra information and more resources. And I think you'll find that this can definitely be a therapy that can be attempted. It's safe and it's very cost effective. And it's something that can be attempted in your own homes very easily to make that home the best place for your rehabilitation. So thank you very much for listening.